Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. It's the Wednesday night show, and I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I just put out a prediction video, so I figured, hey, let's talk about your predictions. What you think will happen either in the off season or during the season, the 2023-24 season. And yeah, you've heard mine. Let's hear your guys. So if you're here, say hi, give a prediction, talk about whatever you want tonight, and yeah, let's start with that. So I'm trying to think of the news that's out there. There's not much. It's a quiet time of the year, and yeah, we're gonna probably have another month of that because as we get closer to September, so by the end of August, it'll start to pick up as as training camp nears, and it's crazy. We're already getting like a little over a month away from training camp, so a quick off season, it seemed to me. So if you're here, say hi. Um, we can talk about predictions. We can talk about pretty much whatever you want. Who's here? Habs Guru. Hey, Guru. How you doing, man? Lucas Miller. Hey, Lucas. You're in New York. Currently driving, but I'm listening. Awesome. Hey, awesome being in New York. I guess. I don't know. I personally won't go down there anymore, but Slapshot Hockey. How's it going, man? Filibuster. How's this? Yeah, no, the scooter's doing good. I was out today. Did a little scooter in today. Hey, Justin, how you doing, man? Not a Boston fan, but will miss Patrice Bergeron. I'm not going to say I'm going to miss him. But, I mean, all the best to Patrice Bergeron. Great player, great leader. Happened to be a Bruin. ABL, who gets the C in Beantown? A good question, actually. Quite a good question. I don't know that I know the team well enough. You think they'd give it to Brad Marchand? No, because he doesn't have a great relationship, I think, with the refs, so you wouldn't do that. I'm trying to think who's on there. That's a good question. If anyone's got an answer to that, I don't really. I don't think I know the players well. Who's still there? I mean, I don't know. Not Pasta. That's for they wouldn't give it to Pasta. DeBrusque. Um, Charlie Coyle, or who's that guy on defense? Can't think of his name. Something like that. Let's see. Hey, Joe from Down Under. How's it going, Joe? Hey, David. Heard Habs have a good deal for Hoffman. This is news to me. I've not heard that. Let us, if you heard, let us know what the details are, and we can comment on it. But I've not heard that. Mr. Expos. Well, thank you, Joe in Chicago. So you're Chicago Joe, and we got Chicago Steve as well. Awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. Thank you. I hope so. Are you leaving already? Phil says Shifley is a goon and is a Bruin at heart. I see a perfect fit. I guess he's got one season left in Winnipeg. I don't think he's going to return after that. Phil says, here's a head scratcher. Where does Marchand end up? I don't know how much. Some people are saying they're going to trade him at the deadline or this offseason. I mean, I don't know. McAvoy, thank you, Phil. McAvoy, maybe McAvoy. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate that. I appreciate your friendship as well. And like I said, I can say every time, hope the family's doing well, and hope you're getting a little bit of sleep. So Justin is going to get into the draw. It's going to come up soon, Justin. I promise you, it's coming up soon. It's a mug. I didn't bring it out. It's a Canadians mug, and if you donate anybody to the channel, you will get into that draw. And yeah, haven't had one in a little while, but gonna have one really soon. So thanks, Justin, once again. BL says, I say they either give it to Marchand or McAvoy. I can't, you want to make Marchand your captain, though? it's not. He's not gonna have a. He doesn't have a great rep relationship with the refs. No, McAvoy makes sense to me. How Slapshot says, how the Habs not getting PLD? That's a bummer. Au revoir. Why are you leaving so quick? They didn't want to pay the price for PLD. Winnipeg got a pretty good haul for him, and also the contract. I don't know. I think both things. I think they're glad they didn't do it. Although they tried. Listen, they tried to get him. Price was too high. They didn't get him. David says, so Hoffman to the Islanders for a 5th round pick, no salary retained. You know what? If Kent Hughes can pull that off, I mean, this guy's just amazing. That would be awesome. It is the first time I'm hearing that. What do you guys in the chat here say about that? That's his name, Mike Hoffman to the Islanders. In return, we get a 5th round pick, and there is no salary retention, and that would be good because frees up a little bit of cap space. Always good to have a little bit of cap space back. That's the reason you'd move a Mike Hoffman anyway. So yeah. Guru says with Bergeron retired, it might start a domino effect. Maybe Krejci moves on. I thought I heard that Krejci wasn't coming back next season. So I think that's already done. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I thought. Will it have I don't know. They just signed Pasta to a big contract. They still got guys there. And they've got goaltending. Their defense is basically unchanged from last year. I don't think so yet. Like they're going to make the playoffs probably, or a wild card. Like they're probably going to be in there if they, add the right bodies. So I don't know. But I think their window's closed. If it's not closed all the way, it's like almost. Could be the starting point of the slump for Boston, which I thought would happen last year, and then they won they're the best team in the league. So, I mean, who knows? But I think, the window's open like a crack. That's it. No air getting through. Okay, David repeating that. Phil says Marchand is a terrific player. Love to hate him. Hate to love him. Love to hate him. Would never love him. Making him captain would be like Habs making Gallagher captain. Not good optics. Refs hate him. It's simple. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I don't think it can be Marchand. I mean, I don't know. Like, does he wear an A? If he doesn't wear an A, then you know why. But, yeah. Thank you, Justin, again. Appreciate that. Justin likes to do that. Throw a bunch of 2s out there. Very little sleep. Well, newborns, Yeah, it does. I want to say it gets better after a while. It does get better after a while. How about a Timo Meier trade? Didn't New Jersey sign him, or no? We're not getting Timo Meier. Don't expect trades like that. Players like that. They're bringing in players that are amongst the age group of the core, the young core. They're not bringing in guys. You're not going to see them bringing guys right now, at least. Of that age, like Timo Meier. And I'm saying I don't know how old Meier is, 25, 26. I guess it's, I don't know. I think he's on that upper limit anyway, if his age is 25. They want to bring in guys 22 to 24. They're all going to grow together. And that's how you're going to get that to maintain being a contender for many years in a row, right? I think that's what they're doing. Hey, Leon. People are crying like Bergeron, the first player ever to ever retire. Well, but he was well loved. And listen, you know what? Deservedly so. Great player. A guy that, even though he was a Bruin, you can respect. I don't know. I got my TV on. So yeah, I mean, also for Bruins fans, they were hoping for another year to make a run. And I think with Bergeron retiring, it's pretty much, They might make the playoffs, but doubt they're going to make a run to the Cup. Although stranger things have happened. Slapshot asked about the Galchenyuk situation. Phil, told me that RBC, the bank, is suing Galchenyuk. I didn't find out why. Yeah, listen, he's in the program. I wish him the best. I hope, you know what? He's still young enough to come out and have a few good years. You know, if that's where he's at. So I don't know what else to comment. I don't want to comment too much because the guy's in the program. He's doing the right thing. I'm not going to say too much about Galchenyuk. When he comes out, see what happens. You know, if it continues, or he might turn the ship around and live up to some of his potential that he had. That's what I'd like to see. Listen, when Galchenyuk was here, when they drafted him, that's the guy I wanted them to draft. And listen, the first couple of seasons, I really liked Chucky. I thought there was some really big potential there. He was exciting. He could score. And then, I don't know, the bottom dropped out. So I hope he gets back to what he can be, the best that he can be, instead of this, I don't know, laughing stock player that he's been. Do I see Buffalo finally making the playoffs? See, it's a good thing. Good thing, but interesting is that there's a team that's been out of the playoffs for so long, so many good draft spots and whatever, and you know they're still struggling to make the playoffs. So here we are talking about the Habs. They're going to make the playoffs in 2-3 years. But you know what? I think the tide will turn. The top teams eventually start to fall down. Buffalo will rise. They've got a lot of good young players. I think they're in the right direction. They just have to keep going in the right direction. A Renegade Man, surprised Bruins traded Hall to Chicago. No, not really, because there was a cap thing, right? They didn't have money. They needed to move guys, and they moved Hall to Chicago. Why Hall over other guys? I don't know. Young Bucks, in other words. Wait, what was your line? Well, yeah, I mean, he's no young buck, if that's what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean, Leon. Hey, Justin, as always, like I always tell you, thank you for that, and thumbs up. No worries, buddy. No worries. Galchenyuk is hilarious. Many of us saw him as a bad apple from the get-go. It's quite neat to look back on. I don't know about from the get-go. I want to say maybe end of the second season. I don't know about from the get-go. I don't agree with that. But not too long into his, obviously, we knew his father was a problem and stuff like that. So, David Bergeron was more than a worthy opponent. He was a worthy opponent. Yeah, he was. Listen, you got to respect a guy like that. Not a guy that was, not a controversial guy. Like he didn't do anything that, like Marchand, right? He's not like Marchand. Not a Bruins player. The Bruins players that we all hated growing up and whatever. He's not that guy, so. Phil, I would hope I hope most people have great feelings about Cole and Nick. They're going to be here for a long time. I must have missed a comment from you, Slapshot Augie. I'm not sure why you're saying that. Oh, I guess. Okay. You because the Galchenyuk, you're the one who said that. You don't have to be a Coyotes fan to have an opinion about Galchenyuk. Excuse me. Renegade Man, I don't disagree with you, but I don't know about calling Caulfield a generational player. I don't know about that. I think Reinbacher could be an elite player on the back end, and yeah, I mean, Michkov and Caulfield, similar enough that you've got one already. Um, when you're presented with another player that could really fill a role, and you might go there, right? And now I saw, I don't know where it was from. Matt sent it to me. Um, I think this came out either the day after or the day before the draft. Someone doing a rankings, and Reinbacher was ranked at 5 on their list, and Michkov was ranked 10th. I mean, we're gonna, give it 3 to 5 years. You'll look back, we'll see which was the right pick. Are there Yotes fans? Asks Phil. There are. I have actually. I've known some, so legitimately. He was part owner. He was part of the ownership group, Gretzky, but not. The way I say Bob Gainey, great player, not the greatest GM. Wayne Gretzky, great player, not the greatest coach. Also, didn't have a great team around him, but I mean, not the greatest coach. Habs are deep on D and in net. Of course, they won't be great right away as people want, but in 5 years, Habs will dominate. I think so, and it'll stem from that defense. Um, it'll be the first time I think since the '70s that, or maybe early '80s, that we had the big three. We'll have the big three on defense. I think we're going to have a big three on defense again, and when you have a dominant defense like that, it makes it really hard for the other team to score against you, right? So that's one big issue. And then when you've got offense, you're going to be a winning team. And I think that's the reason why they picked Reinbacher there. Kings should go for someone like Drysdale or Jackeye. Jackeye's not going anywhere. If you mean trying to get Arbor from us, Arbor's not going anywhere. If they were going to trade Arbor, they wouldn't have drafted. I don't think they would have drafted Florian. Why would they draft Florian if they're going to trade Arbor? I see the other way around. Motivation for Arbor, to I think they want him to be a regular third pairing defenseman at the very least, and he needs to step up a little bit. BL, I not only did I check it out, I've watched both episodes twice, and I was waiting for the episode yesterday. I still didn't get it where I watched it, so I'm waiting anxiously for the third one. So yeah, the funny thing is when I went and I looked at it and I saw it up there, and I don't know if I said this last time, but I saw it up there and just thought it was some knockoff and didn't check out. I didn't check it out. So anyway, it's good. It's just weird seeing him with gray hair like that. Just weird seeing him like that. As the character, not as the actor. I've seen the actor like that. Nashville, Washington tried to trade up to get Reinbacher. And listen, Arizona was going to pick Reinbacher flat out. They were going to. So Montreal doesn't take him. Moving down wouldn't have gotten him. And they had to take him there. If that's the guy they wanted, that's where they had to take him. Okay, Joe, I'm confused. How will you find out if there are Coyotes fans when you go to Melbourne in September? I'm just really kind of confused about that one. There are Coyotes fans. Okay, so my cousins, I have cousins, my aunt and uncle. My mother's sister, she married an American guy and eventually moved to Arizona from New York. So they've been out there a long time. So I have two cousins, two girls. One was living with me here, and then her sister has two daughters. one of the daughters was a big Coyotes fan. So I know that there are Coyotes fans. That's how I know. Justin, thank you once again. Hang on. And have a good night. Get as much sleep as you can, man. Get it when you can and as much as you can because you need it with a kid. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that, man. Where am I? Two kids asked me to pull Pog for them as I was walking into the liquor store to buy beer. I thought it was disrespectful. I did that myself to pull beer as a teen in the 70s. I don't know what you mean by that. What's pull Pog? Pull pot. I still don't get that meaning. You got to explain that. I wasn't a drinker ever, so I never did anything like that. Okay, but don't use them as an example, Slapshot. No, Arbor's not going anywhere. So let me go over your comment again. No, where is it? Well, I mean, I don't know who else. Is there? Is there another defenseman like Jack Eye? Leon, it's not about that they want all young bucks. They have a, you in a rebuild when you're not really retaining players or trading for players that are above a certain age, right? Now here where you got we'll just use Suzuki and Caulfield, right? They're all under 24. They're trying to get that core group. Look at the Oilers from the back in the Oilers was 80s, right? Back in the 80s, how they started and put their group together, right? They're trying to do something like that, is what I think. So they want young bucks, yeah, because they want to sustain the playoffs and contention and stuff for a long time. So once this young group gets in there, they'll be able to stay in there for a long time. Third episode is an eye opener. I'm hoping to have it by the time I get off the stream here. I'm making a pizza because I'm making like a fresh pizza, and I'm hoping to watch that. Oh, just speaking, we're gonna for a second. Anybody out there watch Mayans? Because if you watch Mayans, that was a hell of a series ender. If you want to talk about that, I'd be interested to talk about that. Caulfield should be able to score 40, I think, more, depending on how many games he plays, right? For the season, if he doesn't get hurt, he was on pace last year. So I put out a predictions video. That's why I'm doing predictions here. I've got for Cole that he'll play 82 games, which I think is a bold prediction. But he'll play 82 games, and he's going to score 50. I believe if Cole Caulfield plays 82 games, he's going to score 50 goals. Oh, they're playing a preseason game. I didn't know that down there. Down under in Melbourne. That's cool. Really cool. Well, let us know how that goes there. Renegade Man says there's more Coyotes fans than people realize. Yeah, there's at least a dozen. No, but there are some. I mean, there are some. Not enough to fill up a 5,000 arena, 5,000 seat arena, but there are some. Awesome, Phil, that the butter was good, but I asked this because my ex-wife thought of this or saw this, and so I said, well, depending on how much is you need a liter of heavy cream. How much is that? Plus the work and all that. To how much is a pound of butter? I don't know that it's cost effective. You want to make good butter? Go to the country, find a farmer that has got a milk farm. get fresh milk from his homogenized machine. You leave it in the fridge. It separates. You got milk, cream, and butter. And you make that into butter. And, oh, that's good. Used to do that on the farm. We didn't have milk cows, but neighbor did. And we used to get in there and just get these jars of whole milk. Yep. Tastes just like the cow, too. If you drink whole milk, tastes just like a cow. What does that mean? If you know what a cow smells like in a cow barn, it kind of tastes like that, which oddly enough, you get used to when you drink it. Hey, Matt Outdoor, welcome in, buddy. Phil thinks Carey Price scores in a different way, and his wife pops out another little price. And that's their business. That's for sure. Phil sent me 2 attachments. Yeah, I saw it, Phil. I saw it. So there was, by the way, and I'm not going to spoil this, well, unless you make me. There's a special Carey Price prediction in my video, right at the end of the video. It is like I say bye and blah, 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 and then there's a Carey Price prediction because there's some news came out about Carey Price. And we could talk about it, but only the people that have seen the video. Everybody else, you can't talk about it. You can't listen. Like, that's going to work. Okay, BL, I'm glad you said this. Okay, sorry, guys, I got to talk about this. If you don't watch Mayans, if you know what Sons of Anarchy is, Mayans, that was their rival gang. And there's a series. Okay, final scene. I think it was basically the final. It wasn't the final scene. The girls, that was the final. But you know, the end, right after what happens to Easy. I'm not going to spoil it. When they come out to the trailer and the girlfriend and the dog are there, I'm going to spoil it. And he shoots the girlfriend. And I'm like, that's it. I want to kill them all. And I realized the next day why they did that. Because after 5 years of watching Mayans, you're not supposed to really like these kind of people. These are not good people. And they made you hate them like you're supposed to in the end. And that's what I thought. What do you think about that, BL? But man, that scene, BL, made me so mad. But then the dog came out, and the dog was okay. It was a little bit better. But I was so mad at that. And anyway. All right, get back to hockey if you want. Renegade Man says, I hope Slavkovsky could be like a power forward because he has the size. I just hope he doesn't end up like Lindros when he plays with his head down. Interesting. And this one I'll give away from my predictions because it's supposed to be for fun. But my prediction is that Yuri Slavkovsky learns to keep his head up and does not get injured in preseason. So, yeah. From what I understand, I don't know where I saw this. If it was Marty St. Louis or somebody of that, said something about him keeping his head up and he's working, like he's doing these things. He's going to be better. They fully expect a different Slavkovsky this season, I guess. I still say if he has a bad training camp, he goes to Laval. If not, he's going to stay in Montreal. And they will develop him into a power forward. It is indeed cost effective. Better butter. Okay, I get that. Hey, all the best, dude. Slapshot says senators are I don't know what there's puking emojis. Clowns. I mean, I don't know. The Senators will be one of the teams that moves up when the other fall. Like, I don't know. Depends. Listen, they got a new ownership, don't they? They have a new ownership. Um, they've got some good players there. You can't say they don't. One that I mean, I don't like the guy, diving Tim Stutzla, but I mean, the guy's got numbers. With the right moves, it's going to be a good team. If they don't make the right moves, not so much. The new owner is coming in. You might see management change, and they'll make a push by bringing in the right people, doing the right things. I mean, they've got some good players there. They're on the verge of something, maybe. I have to throw in the maybe. Can't just come out flat and say, yeah, they're going to be a good team. I don't know. Thick cream. Yeah, that's what you'd call it. What I got when I on the farm though, that's whole milk. I mean, that's whole. It's everything in there before it goes through the homogenizing process too. So, but yeah, I mean, you get that heavy, thick. That thick. You put it in the fridge and it separates. Good stuff. Any new news on the Habs? Depends on what you call new news. What's the last news you heard? I don't. I don't know. There's not much happening. It's a quiet time of the year. Plus, I mean, the Habs are, they're not going to do too much. Although David brought us that he heard that there's a deal for Mike Hoffman, the Islanders, and no salary retention. So if that's true, that could be something. But there's not much right now at all. I mean, the Sens have some, they've got some potential going forward. Let's go Otters, the Erie Otters. That's OHL. I don't know much. I don't know that much about the junior players. I learn a little more about them when it comes to draft time, but in general, like for the next crop that much about them. It's Leafs time to either put up or shut up. The moves they made weren't that great and spend over the cap. They are okay. This is what I heard today about the Leafs. Matt Murray's going to go on the LTIR. That's going to get them 2 or 3 million over that limit. I don't know if it's the off-season limit or just 2 or 3 million over the cap. In other words, they still got to make some moves, emergency moves, just to make, to get under the cap. Yeah, I don't know. So they're going with Wall and Samsonov next season, and by putting what's the name, Murray, on the LTIR. I mean, I guess they can afford Samsonov now. Thing is, they're going to start the season using LTIR money. So whatever although I guess they're going to be pretty much a lot of money on, so they're going to get cap relief from the players. If you start the season over the cap using LTIR money, right? So you have to use LTIR money. So say you're using 3 million of LTIR. That's all the cap relief you're going to get, no matter what the player. But if they're like 8, 9, 10 million using LTIR, they'll get cap relief for everybody if they need. Renegade Man, I think if they can't make a deal like I just talked about, they want to get him going. You want to get Hoffman going so that you can move him, or you literally just waive him and put him in Laval, or give him away, like the Armia prediction I made. You might have to give some of these players away, which means giving something along with it to sweeten the deal. The Kings are starting a first-round drought like the Leafs. Well, but the Kings have won a cup, multiple cups, since the Leafs last won. So nobody's like the Leafs. Bill, I don't It's a good question. He says, "Do you think Hoffman is a Lou Lamoriello type player, really, especially at 4 and change?" Um, Not really, I guess. I would have to think that maybe that there's no salary retention, but maybe they sent a draft pick. They send a draft pick or a prospect over with that, right? I don't know how else to look at it. Phil's pretty much right there about Hoffman came as pretty much as advertised, and he's been like around a half a point a game. It's true. It's just that you know, he's 33 or 34, so I guess that his scoring fell off a little bit. Not really unexpected. So I just think in the end that 4.5 million was a little too much. Well, that okay. Here's a point on why they might do, like I said, send a guy with a prospect or a pick to get rid of the contract. First of all, one thing is you can only have so many signed contracts on a team. Habs are up there, right? And they want to also bring in young guys. Having Hoffman or Armia in the lineup where you got to play them, you it takes away a roster spot for a team that's trying to develop these young kids. That's two. Plus, you could do a lot better with their money. That's three. And you know what else? Hab said it's not out of the question they could make the playoffs. Right? That's their frame of mind going into the season. So, um, oh, I had a point. I had a point there. Hang on, give me a second. Uh, yeah, for some reason having Hoffman here wouldn't be good. I know whatever my point was, I lost it there. Yeah, maybe it's this. I don't know. I think it was that they're kind of getting to a point where they not only can they take on a salary, like that's how we got Monahan, right? But there maybe that makes more sense to send him away, give something to have that happen, and have a younger player in getting a year of experience than wasting time on Mike Hoffman. Especially if they might make the playoffs or they're looking like I don't even know where my I think I'm just going nuts. So I got lost in train of thought. It went away, and I'm just trying to make it look like I'm not demented. So we'll just not talk about Mike Hoffman. Leafs are the only original six team that hasn't won a cup after the expansion. Yeah, because they're the best. That is true, right? They're the only one. The longer it goes, the better for me. I mean, I like it. So sorry, Leafs fans. The make believes are almost a real team. They just exist prior to the postseason. What do you mean by that? Wait. You trade an Armia for a Hoffman and add a pick, is what you're saying. Really? I mean, that's the problem. Their GMs won't do that. There's got to be a reason. No, I mean, why would you do that? Why would you want to give away a pick to acquire Mike Hoffman? And when I assume when you say a pick, I mean you're not talking about a six or a seven. Who cares about that? Are you talking about a 1, 2, or a 3? No, not for a 33 or 34-year-old winger. There are teams that need to get to the floor or have the cap space, but hey, Brad, Montreal will make the playoffs if they stay healthy. I mean, it's definitely not out of the question that they might. But yeah, healthy is going to be a really big part of that. I kind of think they're, like I've been saying that for a while, they're going to make a run at a wild card spot and then fall off at some point and then drop down to where they're going to pick from. That's my opinion. Joe says Habs will just fall short of the wild card. Yeah, I think they're going to fall a little bit shorter than that, but I mean, that's fair. Leafs, LEAFS, losers even after 50 seasons. That's a good one, Renegade, man. I like that. Wondering if Norlinder could make the team. I really kind of, like, I doubt it. Like, unless, listen, you know what? He's young. Off seasons and guy comes back and he's improved that a lot. If that happens with Norlinder, maybe. I just don't think so. But I think you could use a Norlinder in a trade. Pete the Fist in the house. Hey, Pete, how's it going, man? Have I seen the Barbie movie yet? No, and I don't think I'll ever see the Barbie movie. I know it's a lot about feminism and stuff, which I support. I still not going to watch the Barbie movie, though. I'm curious as to why you would ask me about the Barbie movie, though. Joe is planning to go see Oppenheimer and Barbie doubleheader at the cinema. That's like kind of two really different movies, isn't it? That's crazy. Barbenheimer. It was hilarious fun, said Phil. Barbie, that is. Yeah, listen, it's just not for me. I'm not saying it's a bad movie either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying not for me. Toy Story well, listen, a lot of the kids that watch Toy Story, my boys, are adults now. BL says if that Barbie movie was playing in his backyard, he'd call the cops. Why though? I'd like to know more about that. I did not have a Ken doll when I was younger. We used to play with GI Joes. So gotta look that one up. GI Joes. Yeah, that's the only one. No, we didn't have Barbies and Kens. And listen, is there a difference really? No, but we felt there was a difference at that age, right? But there, in the end, was dolls are dolls. Hey, are we pooping out early? Running out of questions or comments. Listen, if you're here, you're having a good time, before you leave, please give a thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, you can click that subscribe button and you'll get notified when I do videos and live streams. Let's see. I watched Barbie with my wife, who had You said say babies, but you mean Barbies. And you had boobies in play. It's not for everyone, but it was entertaining. And starring tonight on Pornhub. The video of that. Joe had Barbies and cars and trucks. And she uses the pronouns they and them. No, that's a bad joke, and I don't really. I don't know why I said that. Um, I mean, listen, I played with GI Joes; those are dolls. So, and played with cars and trucks and this and that, and myself and everything. Pete never played with dolls of any kind, and that's what's wrong, Pete. I don't know. You know that also though, Pete, those blow up ones, they count. Just in case you didn't know. A doll's a doll. All right. Where's the comments? Come on, peoples, talk to me. We're wearing out fast. It's only 46 minutes. We rarely wear out this fast. Without comments, I don't know. I got nothing. I guess I was gonna. Nobody really bugged me about that Carey Price thing. I brought up the story. I raised it good. Uh, I put it here. Okay, here's the story for Carey Price, and you can, I guess, take a guess at what my prediction was. So it's from Eric Engels. I guess he sent this to Chris. What's his name? Chris. Can't remember his goddamn name. The other guys on Sportsnet. I think Carey Price will be willing to help in any way possible when he's around Montreal, I guess, but not likely in any other official capacity until his contract expires in 2026. I do believe Price will be more engaged with the Canadiens Foundation, even if he and his family move back to Kelowna, BC this summer. I know he plans to be in Montreal plenty as the season unfolds. It's kind of vague. But where I got that from, it led somebody to write a story about that Carey Price is going to be the goalie coach. So I don't know that it says that exactly in that, but now you'll have to go look at my video to see what my prediction was. All right. Got comments? Oh, look, we got comments. Pete says, I never had any toys either. My mom's sperm donor was evil. Oh, okay, I got you. Well, you always had that, That's why Pete has to shave his hands every day. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Yes. I like pineapple on pizza. And if you say pineapple does not belong on pizza, you are wrong, in my opinion. Phil says, never has he ever bought an overpriced beer at the Bell Center. I always brought your own. How'd you get away with that? Don't they check your bags and shit? BL says he'd put the over-under on Cole Caulfield's goal total at 38. I'm going over as long as he plays full season. Wait, Pete. Okay, Pete says I came into the chat late, have no questions, only concerns. Saw some clickbait crap saying he will be in Laval to start the season. Who's he? We're talking Carey Price to start the season? No, he's not going to Laval. There's been no news, nothing at all to give anybody any reason to think that Carey Price is playing hockey professionally next season. Nothing. Would be neat to summon. What do you mean to summon? Oh, How do we summon other YouTubers to this stream? Yeah, I don't know. Beg? Send them money? David says yes to pineapple on pizza. Is it a Canadian invention? Some Canadian was the first one to do it. Joe says no to pineapple. BL says no. You don't know what you're missing. I'm not saying to put pineapple on just any pizza, but it goes good with some things. But I like pineapple. It is a pizza the moment your fist hits the dough. Why would you? I don't know. Where'd that come from? Oh, you're talking about Arbor. Well, because a lot of people think Arbor should start in Laval. I do not. And personally, I think the fact that they drafted his brother, like I keep saying, to me, that shows confidence in Arbor, their desire to motivate him even more to step up and fully earn that job on the third pairing so that these questions aren't out there. Because they want him around every game. That's how I see it. I don't see him. I don't see the team sending him down unless he has a bad camp. He has a bad camp, of course. Put pineapple on whatever you want. It's your money and her boobs. So you're saying I should put pineapple on your wife's boobs? Hey. BL for pizza is pepperoni, cheese, and bacon. I like that too. I am having, I got pepperoni and Italian sausage, crumbly Italian sausage, red peppers, and cheese and sauce. That's what I'm having. Ain't nothing wrong with it, Joe. It's food. If you like it, ain't nothing wrong with it. If you don't like it, and don't eat it, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's how I look at it. Ham, mushroom, and olives. Take off the olives, and you can do a ham, mushroom, pineapple pizza. Would be pretty good. I'm not a mushroom fan really, but I mean, if I have pizza and there's mushrooms on there, I eat it. I don't care. But like, I like the flavor of mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. There's a word that I'm looking for. The texture. I don't like the texture of mushrooms. Arbor is not a third pair. His foot speed. Well, we'll see. Phil, I agree with Phil on that. Arbor to me, I don't know about ideal, but he's bottom 4D. And if he's not 100% there, that's what I think the motivation they wanted to give him is to get there. Phil, I know I know you're not perfect. Your wife told me. Ha. How did she tell me? I'm just bugging you. Make your own pizza in your cast iron pan with simple dough. I'm not making dough. I bought those. It's like pre-made dough. Not frozen, but it's kind of pre-made. It's sort of like bread. And I don't mind that because it's nice and thin and it comes out crispy. And that's really how I love my pizza. Thin crust, crispy. And so I don't mind using those. But ideally, I make my own pizza dough. And we're back to hockey. All right. Whatever you guys listen, whatever you guys want to talk about. You want to talk about a TV show, you want to talk about food, you want to talk about hockey. We're like almost an hour in. We can talk about whatever we want. I'm up for it. That's what no. It wouldn't work. That's what she said. But Phil, I'm just reminded of if you're making pizza in a cast iron pan, that dough, just do that also on the barbecue. Comes out really good. Obviously, not like off the heat, you know. You don't put it directly over the heat or the flame, but barbecue pizza is really good. Let's talk about possible trade scenarios. Go ahead, give me some trade scenarios. I'll tell you what I think. Hey, Slapshot, thanks for being here, buddy. Hopefully, you'll see you next time. Hey, have a great night. Habs have too many centers. Um, I don't agree with that. Why don't I agree with that? Because I think you guys are looking at a couple of the centers as gonna play. Wait, let me make sure I say that right. There's a couple of the guys that you think are gonna play center are gonna play wing. How's that? That's how I wanted to say it. Left hand D, there is an abundance, but there are a few guys on the team that can play both sides. And Allen, and we can use left hand wing, a left hand winger. Isn't that Newhook? Jake Allen definitely could become not needed as far as I don't like saying that. I like him, so I don't want to say it makes me sound mean. I don't mean to be mean. I think if Monty is playing well and they extend him, I think at that point, if Dobish or Primo are having good season down in Laval, I think they can move Allen at that point. It's too early to move him, in my opinion. You're not set with a proper backup to Monty, and even you're not set with a proper starter because is Monty a starter or not? We don't 100% know yet. Hey, anytime, Slapshot. Actually, good point there, Phil. Pizza does need massive high heat. That's why pizza ovens are so effing hot. So yeah, you still don't put it over the flame because you'll have burnt pizza real fast. Excuse me. We drafted 11 team centers, but centers are also going to play wing. They want centers on the wing. I've talked about this before. I think a lot of teams are doing this where they want guys that can play center, not just, oh, he could play center, guys that can legitimately play center on their wings as well. Not like a Rem Pitlick center. I'm talking about a legitimate center, which is Newhook. Newhook is a guy like that. Monahan for this season. Eric Carlson getting too picky, doesn't want to go to Carolina because he dislikes Burns. I saw something about that. Apparently he just wants to go to Pittsburgh. That's what I read. I read a lot of headlines, not the story. I've read that a couple of times. He wants to go to Pittsburgh. Wood fire barbecue is the best anyway, Joe, for any kind of cooking, personally. If you can't wait, what you mean if you can or can't learn? Did you make a typo or that's so he says if I can't learn to make beer, we'd have a Deadwood situation on our hands. How is that like Deadwood? I'm confused, Phil. I'm confused. So keep making comments because we got a little ways to go yet. We could make it like they have the especially around Christmas. You got that log fireplace thing that you can watch on TV. We'll just make the channel just me here smoking, nobody saying a thing. Maybe that'd be more it might be more popular than me. Me shutting up and not saying anything might be more popular than me talking. You just repeated the exact same thing without clarifying, Phil. No, or did I just read it again? I think I just read it again. You didn't. Yeah, that's that. Oops, never mind. Did I hear Babcock thinking to try Line at center? That I did not hear, Leon. Line at that doesn't sound right. I mean, Line is a shooter. Line is a guy you pass the puck to. First of all, also, if you're hearing, if it's rumors, rumors are what rumors are. There's a lot of rumors, not a lot of them true. Because, you got to look at it in question. Does that make any sense? It doesn't really. But it's Babcock, so maybe it does. Beer's not that hard to make, is it? Is it that it's hard to make it well so that they don't pop at some point after while they're sitting there on the shelf aging? Line A is not super bueno. I can attest to the fact that Phil buys a lot of beer. He sent me a picture once when his beer got delivered. I can attest to the fact that Phil buys a lot of beer. A lot of beer. I don't know how quickly he goes through that beer. He buys it a lot at a time. I'm not saying Phil's an alcoholic, but if you looked at the picture and so you bought all that beer at once, you might think he is. I don't think Phil's an alcoholic. I think him and his friends drink beer together. He's got a lot of friends and he buys a lot of beer at one time. Gets a discount. I'm telling you, Phil's Jewish. I know because that's how I do it. All right. Don't forget on your way out, please give a thumbs up if you're leaving. I'd say I'm here another at least 10 minutes and maybe another half hour. It depends if people are talking to me, because if you're not talking to me, then I'm leaving, man. I'm out of here if you don't want to talk to me. Remember, we can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be hockey. We've already been talking about food and TV shows, so I'm here for a conversation. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, but a good time. I think I'm too old for a 24-hour stream, Lucas, honestly. I've considered it, and listen, I'm not a guy that sleeps a lot, so I could do it easily. I don't think I want to do it. Talking for 24 hours would be, yeah, I don't know how I would do that. Phil just said, yeah, am I right? No, it wasn't a picture of the beer. He sent me a picture of a screenshot of the chat. Okay. A 24-hour stream is a good idea if you want to do it, but it's not a good idea for me. Look here, we're an hour in. We're already ran out of other things to talk about. So if I ever did something like that, it would be there's times in the season where, I know gamers do 24 hours. I mean, what am I going to do with 24-hour stream on? Phil says he bathes in the beer. Then what, you drink it afterward? Oh, God, Phil, come on. Leon is asking for a woman. Leon, are you asking for a woman? Because I'm not sure. Do I hear about her? It doesn't go with your last comment either. Yeah, Lucas, I'd need something else than hockey. Although there are times of the year, I'm trying to think, like when the Habs have, they're on a West Coast trip and we're doing a 10 o'clock start, right? I could see that possibly if it's a Saturday night or a Friday night, which they don't play a lot on Fridays, but yeah, it's for gamers. Mario, what about NHL support LBGTQ and all the, I don't know, it's a bunch of letters more now. And BLM, what about it? They're NHL says they're diverse and they believe in diversity, yet they stopped like there's not going to be any more pride nights or any other kind of nights either, but um I support all that. I don't know that the NHL really does. Kind of think the NHL is kind of a bit of an old boys club, and I don't think they're that progressive. They try to talk a good game, make it look like they are. I don't know that they are. Hey, there you go. Guru's got it. But how do I convince Matt and Pete to want to do 8 hours streaming? I doubt it. Pete, if you're still in the room, you interested? I don't think so. Who has made their own rink? I tried a couple times. I guess about 20 years ago or so for the kids when they were younger. I didn't do a good job. Joe is planning on starting a live chat show in a few months. Seriously, Joe? Like where? On what platform? Does ketchup belong on a hot dog? It doesn't, you animal. Use chili. I personally don't put ketchup on hot dogs. Ketchup is for hamburgers sometimes, not always. But hot dogs is mustard relish, coleslaw, or I like sauerkraut on a hot dog. Men and women's sports. Oh, is that what you're talking about? No, I definitely don't. I really kind of don't agree with, um, with somebody who was a man and wasn't maybe the greatest athlete and didn't have the best results. Now I'm a woman and now I was beating the shit out of, legit women athletes. I think there's a place where you got to kind of draw the line. I'm nothing. No, I'm nothing. I'm not anti anything. So don't get me on that. I think in that case, I think it's a little unfair to the women, right? And I'm not saying that a trans person's not a woman. That's not what I'm saying. I think in this case, it's not fair for that person to compete against someone who's smaller and whatever, not as strong. I mean, that's how it is. Otherwise, then women should just be in men's sports and then just have it unisex sports. Just do that. No politics. Am I talking about politics? David says ketchup on hot dogs is illegal. I think in general, most people don't put ketchup on hot dogs. And then I think a lot of people do actually put all of it, like ketchup, mustard, and relish, which I know a lot of people do that. Fried onions on a hot dog is also good, and on a hamburger. I like fried onions best on a hamburger, but it is good on a hot dog. When I was a kid, I hated onions. Like I didn't mind them in the food, and I didn't see them, whatever. But as an adult, though, I like them, and I like raw onions. Raw onions only on hot dogs sometimes, but on hamburgers, I actually like them. Otherwise, I don't eat raw onions on anything else. But I do like onions. You can't cook without onions. Sports and porn only. Well, we haven't talked about porn, and I don't think I want to. Um, Joe, I think if you do a talk show thing like kind of like what I'm doing, um, it gives you something to do when everything's automated and there's no jobs. And then you're working doing something. No, but you know what? It gets your. How do I want to put that? I enjoy the fact that I can get out there and get my opinions out there. That's something that's really good, and I do like when I've got guests on here, and it's kind of like a talk show. So I do like doing that kind of stuff. I like talking. I don't think I want to do it for 24 hours. But I obviously like talking. David, I know what goes into hot dogs. I still eat them. But yeah, I think if you work in a hot dog plant, you're not going to eat hot dogs. And when you really think about what goes in them, you're not going to eat hot dogs. So I don't think about what goes in them. I do know this. And they say this is a fact, right? There's so much sodium and shit in hot dogs and preservatives. Every hot dog you eat takes a chunk out of your life. I don't know what the exact amount is, but it takes away some of your health. But then again, okay, here's a funny story. We're gonna talk about food. I don't know what day last week I felt like having. I was gonna order food, right? So Skip the Dishes was offering a free Big Mac with a $15 order, which isn't today that's not a lot of money. So I get 2 Big Macs and a fry, which is actually a little bit of more than I usually eat. But so I ate it because I get a Big Mac craving every now and then, and I haven't had one in a long time. But legitimately, within an hour afterward, I didn't feel great. Like I knew I shouldn't have eaten all that horrible food, but I felt physical effect of it. So yeah, cheese and hot dogs. My kids like that. Not me. I'm not the biggest. I don't have to have cheese on everything. Let's put it that way. Phil eats fried onions with a ladle. Okay, slow down there, buddy. Diversity is all politic. It is not all politic to be diverse. Maybe that's the problem about it, is that we got to make it political. But if we just people are people. What's the difference what color they are or what language they speak? We're still all people. Why do we have to make that politics? Or maybe I'm just an idiot, which is possible. Try a Peruvian onion salad? No, thanks. For me, salad and onions don't go together. So, Joe, you're talking about like a podcast. You're talking about a podcast, right? Yeah, I mean, awesome. Listen, I wish I was a little more diverse on the sports. I'm just not. I mean, the one thing I can talk about is hockey and the Habs, mostly the Habs. I used to be able to. I mean, I used to be able to do baseball, but I've been so long away from baseball. I don't know. And I used to be able to talk golf really well. I know my golf, but I don't know if I know it today. Techniques are different. There's a lot of difference. The key to long life is definitely low stress, and quite frankly, stay away from sugar. Stay out of the sun as much as you can, and at least use sunblock. And there's a lot of things. You know what's really key to long life? Don't die young. I think that's probably the biggest key to living a long life. And be friendly. Joe is from Australia, and when people ask me what's not the meaning of life, but what advice is the best advice like to live by, and then I get it's from Jim Jeffries, what I'm going to say now, and it's just don't be. I'm not going to say the word he uses, but it's the C word. The see you next Tuesday. That word, yeah. Just don't be one of those, and things are usually good. That's from Jim Jeffries, an Australian comedian who I really like a lot. I just saw yesterday a comedian on YouTube. I was doing something and I had it playing. It's a girl. I can't remember her damn name now. I'm pretty sure she's from Australia. She was funny as hell. I'd never heard of her before. Sex takes days away in your life. Yeah, having sex takes days of your. Yes, it does not take away from your life. And if it does, you're doing it wrong, man. Or way too much. One of the two. Leon says he loves women down under. That has two meanings to it. That definitely has two meanings to it. Double entendre right there. Yeah, no dickhead. Don't be a dickhead. That's another. It's the same idea. Very same idea. Celebrities reading mean tweets is pretty funny, says Guru. I've seen a couple of those, and they are funny, yes. I don't like reading my own mean tweets that sent to me, not as funny as seeing other people read them sent to them. It's much funnier. Thank God I don't get a lot of mean tweets, but I get a few. I get a lot less now that I rarely engage with people on X marks this. Can you believe they named Twitter X? It's now called the X. Elon Musk can go fuck himself. I don't mind swearing to say that. I apologize if there were any sensitive ears out there listening to me say that, but it is true. Does anybody know for sure what planet Elon Musk comes from? He's definitely not from Earth. Neither is Mark Zuckerberg. Phil, you're a lot better off. I use Twitter because I find out, although it's less and less now because people are leaving, I find out a lot of information for this channel to do videos and stuff on Twitter. And you used to find out first on Twitter. I don't know if that's as much the case now that Elon's screwed everything up. But no, I learned a while back to just I don't engage with people much on Twitter. And if I don't know you or I've dealt with you already, I just in general don't. I don't put. I'll retweet people's things, but I won't. I don't comment on them too often because it only gets you in trouble. Marguerite from New Zealand. That sounds like she should be from France, but was a great girl in my youth. New Zealanders, Australians, although I don't think they like each other a lot. I've always found are great people, fun to get to know, just nice people in general. And there, there's nasty New Zealanders and Australians, obviously, but I've always met really nice ones. I didn't see that, Joe. She says, I love how the Canadians suggested fans use a photo of Jack Eye, because it's the X, after the change from Twitter to X was announced. Now, I've got it open. It still says, okay, the logo is X in black because he wants to be a porn site. But it says notifications, Twitter, because I leave it on notifications. So I don't waste any of the 1,000 posts I'm allowed to read by refreshing when I don't want it to. So yeah, the good thing though about it when he limited us to, because I'm not paying for that shit. I'm on Twitter a lot less, so that's a good thing. Elon moved from South America to Saskatoon and worked in a sawmill near Moose Jaw. Is this true? That's not true. I don't think Elon ever did a, a day of physical work like that in his goddamn life. Besides, I think he's a fake. I think he's a fake. I used to read the encyclopedia. I had growing up, Phil. I had what were they called? Childcraft. It was from the Encyclopedia Britannica, but it was for kids. I used to read that, like, and learn all kinds of new stuff. I imagine some of that's still stuck with me, and then like things like, how did I know that? It's probably from that. Um, but having reference books and stuff like that, no, I didn't go to university, so, and I have ADHD, so. You get on well with New Zealand. I thought New Zealanders and Australians don't like each other in general. I've heard that many times. It's probably just a joke I've heard from comedians, and they play it up more than it is. It's true. No, but if he worked in a sawmill, it was like in the front office. He wasn't doing physical work. Elon Musk is a real life genius. Yeah, well, he's got you convinced. You don't have me. What genius does what he did to Twitter? And you've never been on Twitter, so you don't know what an incredible, petty baby he is. He's a petty piece of shit. And he lies to everybody about what he does and his environmental friendly. He's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And no, I don't hate Elon because of what he did to Twitter. I kind of didn't like him before that. I wouldn't pay a cent to see that cage fight. Listen, you could just go watch Star Wars because, like aliens fighting, that's what you're going to see there. Two aliens. They're going to be doing this to each other. Oh, get away. Although, I got to say, Zuckerberg is ripped, man. He's ripped. I saw a picture of him recently with his shirt off. I'm sure a lot of people saw it. He's ripped. Still, he hits like that. Oh. Elon's mom is a model. Good for her. He moved to Canada to avoid the South African draft because he is a coward. He loves space, yeah. You don't want to help out the planet, but he wants to go to Mars because that's more important than. Guy's got enough money to do some serious damage to climate change. Why would Chris Chelios have been working at a Canadian sawmill? Chris Chelios is American. Yeah, no, I get it, Joe. It's just that you hear that, you hear that you guys don't like each other in general. And kind of like here in Canada with everybody and Quebec. Everybody hates Quebec, and Quebec hates Canada. Chelios was in the SJHL. I don't know what that is. Is that what you're saying? I imagine Chelios might have played hockey here in Canada as a junior. I'm just saying, why would he work at a sawmill, though? Wouldn't he gone home to do that? Well, we're getting near the end. Another 5 minutes. So anything, if you haven't asked me a question that you wanted to, good time to get that in. And then because I'm like the McRib, I'm only here for a limited time. Chelios played in Moose Jaw? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, before we go, if you haven't seen my predictions video, I hope you guys will go watch that. As soon as you leave here, go watch it. And it's not a long video. I actually did a video under 10 minutes. Who would have thought that? I give 16 predictions in the video. All right, well, I think I'm going to take off then. Nobody wants to talk. So I don't know what's up. I don't have anything in the works necessarily, so I don't know what videos are coming up next. I'll be back though on Saturday, as I always am for Saturday Hockey Talk. So there's that. Let's see what else is happening. We're getting closer to the season. I mean, we're at the end of July, so I do know that the Habs rookie camp, I think it's opening on either the 12th or the 13th of September. So we are roughly 6-7 weeks away from the start of training camp. It's crazy. It's already we're there. Hey, Joe, go enjoy your lunch, eh? Don't, it's, what time is it over there? I guess it's getting close to noon over there. And yeah, so I'm going to take off here. On your way out, please give a thumbs up. I'll see you on Saturday and maybe a video in between. I hope I'll have a video in between. I just don't know what it'll be yet. All right. So thanks everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. It's still early enough on, it's not Saturday, so it's Wednesday. It's late. Go to bed already. You got to work tomorrow. All right. So I'm going to take off. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it as always. Please give a thumbs up on the way out. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. So till then, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. Have a good night. Ciao, everybody.